My name is Carolyn Scheller. I work for Public Health of Hinsdale County. I take care of the senior exercise programs. I'm also Medical Reserve Corps Unit Coordinator and also Emergency Preparedness Response Coordinator for Public Health. Right now, we're sitting next to 3rd Street Market on the corner of 3rd Street and Silver Street. Silver Street always reminds me of walking down the set of a Western because everything is kept the same as it was because most of these buildings are historic. Right in front of us there is the Miners and Merchants Bank. It's been a bank for a long time, and the only person to ever rob the bank in Lake City was the president of the bank. I think by the establishment of a public health in Lake City, we've become the common thread because through public health come all the services for the infants and all the services for the school children and all the services for new parents and all the services for food stamps, help with fuel, help with medical bills. Actually, people call us most of the time just to get answers. This is my concern. Where do I need to go? Who do I need to talk to? We act as a liaison a lot, public health, between the residents and other departments that they need to deal with. Well, without public health in Lake City, there wouldn't be an emergency preparedness response coordinator at public health. So what I do is I prepare for any type of flu that might come down, any type of emergency where we need to quarantine or isolate or do a mass immunization of the residents of Lake Cities. Well, especially for our older residents, it's very beneficial to have things here in Lake City. Just the dental clinic alone, since the Bartons came in, now we're able to do bridges and caps and offer more services to our older population than we were just, say, 4 and 5 months ago. So that's something they're very glad is here. The children can get their teeth cleaned here. They can get their sealants done here. The children get their immunizations here. So parents don't have to travel with their children to the snow and on bad roads to go to Gunnison to the hospital. Their children can be inoculated here right at the medical center. Tourists come in the summer. We have an influx of 2,000 people into our town every summer. And what they do is they see that public health sign, so they come in. And they say, well, we'll be staying here for 2 weeks, and, my husband needs to get another inhalator. Where can we do that at the medical center, or do we have to go somewhere else? Public health becomes that liaison between the citizens and other departments. Well, because public health has a permanent residence now because of the Caring for Colorado Foundation's grant, we have established a higher credibility and a trust factor with funding institutions so that when we apply for a grant, they're more apt to give us that grant. And with more grants becomes more programs, more services that we can provide for the residents of Lake City. And without the funding from Caring for Colorado, I feel that we'd be in a very different situation than we are now.
I work Friday and Saturday, and we might see 6, we might see 8. In the wintertime, there's only about 400 people here. So there's not a large number of people, to draw from. Well, we live in the Denver area, Denver suburb. One of our neighbors in Denver area suggested, why don't you drive around and see Lake City? He's about my age, and we're all interested in what the coming years are going to bring to us, retirement, semi-retirement, whatever. So we came to town, and we immediately liked the looks of it. And we stopped at the visitor center, and Melanie said, well, do you need a dentist here? And the lady said, oh my gosh. And so she got on the telephone to Public Health and talked to Candy Beebe, who was the director of Public Health at that time. And so we just set up, and she said, we need you, come to Lake City, and here we are. We've been coming over, it was a year in January, and we normally come 1 weekend a month. from patients that come in, they say, oh, we don't have to go to Montrose to have a wisdom tooth pulled anymore, or we don't have to go to Grand Junction to have a root canal done. We do those things. That's part of what the grant is good for. We see people on Sunday before we go back, to Denver, if something arises, and that's what we're here for. These are the greatest people I've ever met in one community, and I've lived in a few. We really enjoy the people here. We want to move here. This is where we want to be.
I've been here almost 18 years. My husband was the rector of an Episcopal church in Taos, and we could live anywhere we wanted to. And we've been vacationing up here, for 15 years, so we moved up here. I don't know if anybody showed you where the medical center used to be. It was this very crowded place. The care was great as far as it could go, but in '91 they did this great fundraiser and built the current medical center, and then thanks to you all, it was expanded, and we got this dental clinic, which saves a lot on our green footprint, our carbon footprint, having to go to Gunnison. It's great. And the medical center can do so many things now that it couldn't. There were lapses. And the doc that came from Gunnison couldn't come if it was too snowy or whatever. So that was spotty. But it's just better. And they have that facility, which can't function without. I can't speak for everyone, appreciate everything that Caring for Colorado has given to Lake City, because we have a lot of programs in public health, dental, medical center that wouldn't be happening without those grants, and we appreciate it.
I am the board president for the health district here, Lake Fork Health Service District. We are in the Lake City Area Medical Center. The Hinsdale County population, both the residents, visitors, everybody, from snowmobile accidents, ATV accidents to common cold. We received a grant that helped us fund a second provider. We were originally a nonprofit. We've been in existence for over 30 years and started out very small, but the need was there for a second provider so we could provide coverage, especially during the summer, during the really, really busy time. We were able to get a grant that helped us fund that second provider. Without it, we wouldn't, probably would have ceased to exist, actually, because one person cannot run an operation like this. If we're not here, then people have to drive to Gunnison. That's the closest medical provider. There's no place else in Hinsdale County at all for medical care. So that's basically 3 hours round trip. And we have a lot of people that their wages, they can't afford to take off a half day to go and see a provider. Our numbers keep going up. We are now seeing like 3,500 patients a year. In the last couple of years, we just keep going up and up. Well, if these services weren't here, then there's a whole lot of people that wouldn't be able to be here. I wouldn't be able to be here. We have a lot of early retirees. One of the main questions that they ask when they come and talk to the realtors here is, what's the health care? And if we didn't have health care ability here, people would not move here full time. Well, the dental clinic, I understand, was funded through the Caring for Colorado, and there's been a big void there that we haven't been able to provide care for. We don't have to drive 3-hour round trip to go see a dentist with a toothache, yeah. So, it's pretty exciting.